Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alfany. That's right, we're here with an early morning video. Getting started, getting up. Early, what's that? How's that phrase go? Early bird gets the worm? Something like that. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And I see that my sister was already dressed. She said to go running and get my stairs. Watch them make sure no one's touching my chain. Wake up. It's time to wake up in the morning. Okay, now, we have a good video here for you today. YouTube did me a favor yesterday. Yeah. They made your guy, Alfany, have to release the video in the members only section. I'm gonna be a good boy today, YouTube. See? Look, I'm smiling. I'm gonna be a good boy. I'm gonna be a good boy today, YouTube. You okay with that? Are you okay with that, YouTube? I'm gonna play by the rules. You know what's funny? I think people believe like I'm only this way on camera. I try to convey to everybody that I'm this way, like in my life. Like I do what I want. Like I'm completely free, like, for a lot of different reasons. But I'll give you an example, and then we'll jump into this. There's chapters in here. So feel free to jump around. We're going to talk money today, big money. We're going to look at numbers, give you some facts. But in another room in my house, my family members are there, right? And I just randomly start putting on my deodorant like this, right? And so they're looking at me, and they was just shaking their head like, "Yep, that's Mick." And I said to them, you know, it's funny. I think my subscribers think I'm only like this on camera, right? It's like not realizing I'm like this everywhere. I don't change. It's just I'm me. All right, so let's get to this money talk here. So we're gonna start here on. We're gonna start here with Volante Technologies. Now, let me read this tweet here. Volante Technologies. You know already that they're a Ripple partner. Here's what they have to say. As a part of a wider hashtag payments modernization, at XRP Colombia is digitalizing their entire payments operation, with Volante allowing faster onboarding and higher personalization. Volante has provided us with a solid foundation to deliver on our strategy to roll out our customer-centric new business model. This is huge. XRP, you know what? XRP is about to dominate in Colombia. They're going to have, listen, now you're starting to see the bank coins come together. Algorand is already in Colombia via Coinbanks. As a matter of fact, if you go to Coinbank's website, I think they tell you who they're working with, at least some of the bigger people they used to on their website. I don't know what they're doing now, but I believe there's a few banks on there in Colombia. The bank coins are about to take over. This is great news. So you have us working in Brazil. We're going to take a whole lot of value out of Brazil. Remember, we start off with billions. As these economies grow, it's going to extend into the trillions of dollars. I'm going to calculate everything in dollars to make it a little bit easier. It's going to extend into the trillions of dollars. Don't worry. We're going to go over some numbers and you'll see why. Now, keep in mind, Latin America as a whole, Central and South, are going to be exploding. They're growing right now, rapidly. Not only are they growing rapidly, but you have so much big money moving down there, buying land down there, trying to build businesses down there. As the West sort of falls and is less and less of a greener pasture, people are going to look for something better. So a lot of individuals are going to Latin America, right? You have a lot of individuals going to Africa. You have a lot of individuals going to South Asia regions. You even have some individuals going to Europe, but a lot of Europe is still known as the West, although a lot of Europe is not treated as the West. So these areas are going to continue to develop rapidly because a lot of big money is going to be infused into them. We have the opportunity as bank coin holders to benefit from the spreading out of infrastructures that Ripple, Stellar, Algorand are doing down there. That's going to be big money, very explosive. Of course, this takes time, everything in degrees. This is not for the impatient, unfortunately, it's just not. So this is a very, very good thing. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else they're going to be doing. Now, let's move on to this next article here. All of this is going to tie together in this video. So we have some XRP news, then some Algorand, then some Stellar, okay? All of this ties together. You're gonna see where we're going with this. We're talking huge money. Algorand, here's a little tweet from the Algorand Foundation. We're excited to share we are partnering with XRP Ventures to support startups in APAC and beyond. Let's go here. Before I read the rest of that post there, what is APAC? APAC, Asia Pacific, is the part of the world near the Western Pacific Ocean. The Asia Pacific region varies in area depending on context. There you have it. So, do you see what's going on? You see how the bank coins are starting to merge? Like, not really merge together, but they're dominating the same areas. They're all working together to take those areas. You have Ripple in the South Asia region, Southeast Asian region. You have Stellar over there via LightNet. Never forget that, LightNet and EveryNet. So Stellar is deep over there. And now you have Algorand over there. Let me read that again. We're excited to share we are partnering with XRP Ventures. We need to keep an eye on this to support startups in APAC and beyond. So this is just where they're starting. There's going to be a lot of value coming out of there, not just because their economies are going to be exploding over the next 5 to 10 years, but there's a lot of tourism money. There you go. There's a lot of tourist money over there. We're going to be able to move all of that value. Not only that, we're going to be able to provide them with security that nobody else can. What I'm saying is we're going to be able to move so much value that the price of these protocol where they are now, it's not going to stay there. That's literally impossible. It can't be. So we're talking about billions from certain economies, trillions from others, correct? Okay, so then also we're talking about banks. You know what? Let me not get ahead of myself. We're going to get to the numbers. This is going to be a good one. In my humble opinion, it's going to be a good one. Appreciate everybody out there being here with me. Thank you so much, mi gente. Appreciate that. Being here with old Alphany. So now here we have, this here was tweeted out by Crypto Raider. Crypto Raider still doing a great job. So Crypto Raider retweeted this from Digital Assets Daily. Want to give everybody their credit for what they found and came across. It says, Ripple partner launched crypto payment solution in Argentina. Look at what's going on. Look at how we're spreading out. So now you have Ripple. Listen, let's boil it down to the essence. Now you have XRP in Colombia. Then you have an announcement about XRP is going deep in Argentina. Do you see how fast everything is moving? This is unbelievable at this point. We're winning and we're doing a great job. We're going to move so much money that people are not going to care whether we're moving all of the money or not, because that price of XRP is going to skyrocket. The price of Algorand and XLM is going to skyrocket. Theoretically speaking, nothing is guaranteed. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a humble researcher. I respect your thoughts and what you want to do. Okay. I'm not here to persuade you one way or the other. I'm just here to present these things to you. All right. So Ripple partner launched crypto payment solution in Argentina. It says Ripple associate Bitso will roll out its new payment solution in Argentina. There you have it. Boom. Right now we are living in an unbelievable time. And yes, it's a very difficult time in the world. The economies are not doing well. I have to be careful what I say because I don't want this video to have problems like the one from yesterday. Talking about Argentina, let's talk about the money that can come out of Argentina. So what I like to do, I like to look in the financials of banks, large financial institutions. We've done that a lot on this channel. But I'm not beyond looking into the financials of an entire country. So that's what I did here. Total assets of financial institutions in Argentina from 2002 to 2018. We only need to know the most recent year that they have listed here. This is from Statista.com, who we've been using since the beginning of this channel. We respect them, and a lot of other big institutions respect Statista.com. So this is reputable. This is in billions of dollars. So Argentina has allegedly $380 billion. I have to say that because of course it's going to fluctuate. $380 billion there for the taking that only we can access. Only we can unlock that value. Remember, Most of the central banks in the legacy system, banking system, cannot access the money in Latin America for a bevy of reasons. But we can access what they can, and we can access what they can't. That's why you have the whole notion of banking the unbanked. You understand? That's all value. That's all value that can flow across our blockchains. Now, keep in mind, we're going to be tokenizing everything, whether it's XRP, XLM, Algorand, Hedera, Cello. We're going to be tokenizing everything. So we're going to be moving value of payroll, moving the value of their music. We're going to be moving the value of banking assets, right? We're going to be tokenizing land, so the value of land. We're going to be tokenizing their real their housing markets and stuff like that. So that value is going to be moving across our blockchains. We're also going to be tokenizing debt of all kinds around the world, right? That is a lot of value. What does it do to the price of XRP? It's going to, can we say it's going to raise? It's going to raise. That price can't stay where it is now. And I know we're having some fun. It's green this morning. Everything is green this morning. Quant's looking great. XRP's looking great. All the other bank coins are holding firm. That price is not going to stay there. It's going to skyrocket. Just off of the announcement of victory, when we have the victory over the SEC, that price is going to explode. And just keep in mind, I want you to keep in mind that if that price does explode when we have that victory, keep in mind, that's nothing. That's nothing. XRP, XLM, and Algorand stand to possibly move quadrillions of dollars. I want you to hear that. Quadrillions of dollars. Trillions of, everything in degrees. Of course, we're going to grow into that, but we will, in my humble opinion, be moving trillions of dollars per day when everything is set up and everything is fully running. All the banks come online, institutional money steps in. We will be moving trillions of dollars per day, possibly. What does it do to that price? Even if we take a modicum of that, what does it do to that price of XLM, XRP, Algorand, Hedera, Cello, XDC, trade finance, trillions of dollars. They have all the right connections. $380 billion. This is from Argentina. Let's continue on here. This is an article here from CoinDesk. This came out, but I want to point something out to why this is so important. To keep up with the investments. We've been talking about that a lot. The investments are important because the investments are into companies that are going to bring a heck of a lot of value. Actually, what they're investing in these companies is nothing compared to the value that those companies are going to bring to the blockchains, to the bank coins. That's what we want. But here, this is on Stellar, about Stellar, and this is on CoinDesk. It was from March 15th, 2022, okay? It says Stellar Development Foundation launches $30 million investment fund. Now, let's scroll down here. All right, I should have put my gloves on for this one. I feel like this is it's kind of a surgical video. We're gonna go over a lot of numbers here and show you the big money. Stellar Development Foundation announced on Tuesday a $30 million matching fund for developers who are building apps on Stellar blockchain. We know they've done this before, but this one here is interesting. Let me scroll down here. It says the first investments are going to 4 projects, according to a press release from the foundation. Now, pay attention to these projects. They are very strategic. Stellar has brilliant minds behind it. Whoa. Sometimes they're very quiet, but when they make a move, it definitely is a chess move. The first bullet point here. The first investment. One investment is in Trace Finance, a platform that helps startups. Oh my goodness, you're not hearing me. Startups in Latin America gain access to funding by using stable coins. Now, why is this one important? I told everybody you're not hearing me. Listen, I am connected with many people. Some of my people, they've gone back to Mexico. Some of my people, they've been here for a long time. They've done very well for themselves. They have gone back to Brazil. Some of my people, I told you, people I grew up with who were close to me were from all over the place. So now we're all doing very well. They're saying, like, listen, we're going to go back. We're buying land. We're starting up businesses. They're taking big money with them. And it's not just them. I'm just using them as an example. Some of my people are going back to El Salvador. Some of my people they go back and forth to Colombia. Some of my people have gone to Africa. And people let me know, you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to believe me. I'm just telling you what I'm witnessing. And I'm corroborating two things. One, people I know are actually doing that. And two, you hear about it on the news now. If you do a Google search on how many Americans are moving to Mexico, and then you remember early this year, like January, February, I was telling people that was going to happen. Didn't I say that, everyone here? All of my day one people, haven't I been talking about that? And now you're starting to see on the news all the time. You're actually a lot of locals. This is what the news claims. This is what the news claims, that a lot of locals in certain areas in Mexico are complaining because there's so many Americans moving there, and they're driving the prices up of different things. There's something that they don't know, though. Don't trust me on this. My people down there, you know, their families and stuff, running stores and stuff like that. Some of them are charging the Americans some special prices. But the thing is, the Americans, they pay the prices. So it drives everything up because the locals know they can charge the Americans a higher price. But anyway, but it's on the news now, so it's undeniable. This is happening everywhere, but they're keeping it quiet because they don't want people to know there's a mass exodus. Now, let's circle back around to what I'm saying here. Startups. A lot of businesses are going to be started up. Stellar knows this. They've been privy of it for a long time. So they know that when those businesses start up and these economies explode in Latin America, Stellar will get a piece of that money if they help set up the infrastructures. That's why they're doing this. This is brilliant. This is why something like this has to be paid attention to. And the rapid development and deployment of the DLTs, the bank coins in Latin America is so important. You can't believe it. This is why they're all in Latin America. They're all in Africa. There's a reason for that. You got to let go of that old mind state where, you know, I understand that throughout a lot of people's lives, these certain areas have been spoken about not so kindly. That is not the case anymore. Don't get me wrong. Every place has its struggles. There's a new age coming. There's going to be a lot of value out of there. So, So having something like this, an investment in Trace Finance, where they help startups in Latin America, is going to bring a lot of value to Stellar. Keep in mind, every transaction on Stellar is paid with XLM. Unless they change that, they're going to have to let us know. They have surge pricing for when there's congestion on the network. That's going to boost XLM price up. Every account has to hold a minimum of lumens. That's just a minimum. A lot of them, I anticipate, going to hold the maximum. Not only that, you're going to have other large entities when there's regulatory clarity building on Stellar, and they're going to just buy up tons of XLM and use it themselves outright. So then XLM can become rare in supply. Not to mention, we already have a ton of companies building on Stellar. They're just laying low until there's regulatory clarity across the board around the world, which is coming, it seems, rapidly. So now let's go into this next bullet point here. Bitwage. Bitwage, another one of the fund's first portfolio companies, provides payroll. Do you see? This is stuff we have to pay attention to. You see how impactful this is? Now that you see, you have Ripple doing payroll. I believe they're doing it in Mexico. You have Algorand doing payroll in a bevy of places in Latin America. But most notably, they were rolling out infrastructure for payroll. This was via Koi banks in El Salvador. And you have Stellar here getting into the payroll game. The value that's going to flow across Stellar, XRP, and Algorand because of payroll will be mind-blowing. And what's special about that is not just the high value, consistent high value, but the consistently high volume because it's paychecks. This is genius. That's the way you keep the price up. It will never be this low again once everything is up and running. Never. So, Bitwage, another one of the fund's portfolio companies, provides payroll, invoicing, and benefit services to freelancers with a focus in Latin America. That's also brilliant. Oh my goodness. Freelancers, you know, Uber, DoorDash, these different things, but more than that, this is why it's good to stay abreast of things in the world. The explosion of what they call, look this up on Google, the explosion of what they call digital nomads. I think they fall under that category as well, because digital nomads, they travel from place to place. And yes, they may have a business in America or Europe, someplace in the West, but also to stay in certain countries, right? You have to have like a certain job. Like you can't even just get a part-time job and they let you stay a little longer. Like your visa, they give you like a special visa for being like a teacher or something, like they teach a couple hours a day. Or you can work at a different store. You can work at different places at different times. You can freelance. So that's huge. The advent of the digital nomad. So keep that in mind. If you don't know about that, look that up. Digital nomad. They even have special visas now because there's so many digital nomads. They even have special visas tailored to the categorization of digital nomad. Oh, we're getting deep here. So now, last but certainly not least, look at how all this fits together. Look at Atriex. And we haven't even gotten to the numbers. We're going to get to the numbers. There's chapters involved, okay? Atriex, another one of the 4 initial recipients, is a payments app that provides remittance services in Africa. So we were already deep in Africa. Stellar's going even deeper in Africa. Africa's going to explode. A lot of reason they're doing great. And not only that, oh my goodness, the real estate in Africa is absolutely beautiful. The economies are going to explode. They're becoming very technologically advanced rapidly. I mean, everything is growing there, not to mention the natural resources and the tokenization of natural resources. So you have a ton of great real estate. Like you wouldn't believe, they don't show you that stuff. You wouldn't even believe the type of real estate that's in Africa. That's number one. So that value is going to be tokenized. Then their economies are going to be exploding. That's going to be flowing across the blockchain. Stellar is there. Stellar is in Africa. Algorand is in Africa. I'm trying to remember, I know Cardano was in Africa, but they're not a bank coin. Hedera, there you go. Let me not forget, Hedera is deep in Africa, but they're deep with the banks mainly. Like, you know, that's what they're working with mainly. So all of that tokenized value and everything will be tokenized from Africa will be flowing, or at least a good portion of it, in my humble opinion. A good portion of it. I don't want to say all of it. A good portion of it will be flowing across the bank coins potentially. What does it do to that price? Boom. In my humble opinion. All right, so now let's answer a basic question, because we need to understand how much money we're talking about, because we can access so much more money than the legacy system when it comes to Latin America. So we need to know how much money is in Latin America, how much money are in these countries, or how much money is there total. And we should understand it in US dollars, because I think that's the most widely understood across the board when we're talking about amounts, right? So now let's look up total value of South America in US dollars. I mean, we're pretty much spreading to every country, so we might as well know the total. And it is $3.57 trillion. If we took even a modicum of that, remember, we already are tokenizing land. That's happening. I believe that was in Colombia with XRP, correct? That's still a go. We're doing payroll there. We are involved with their banking systems there. We're doing music, so I'm pretty sure we have a lot of like a Western type of music apps that we're doing on Algorand, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a ton of Latin music apps as well. So we will be taking that. But all of that value, $3.5 trillion, if we take a modicum of that, and we're deep in South America, if we take a modicum of that, what does it do to that price? Now, let's go here, Central America. Let's make it distinct, right? So how much money does Central America have, right? So GDP, PPP is $370 billion. That was in 2013. Now let's go into United States money. This is from the USTreasury.gov, fiscal.treasury.gov. Okay, so this is an official website, and it's titled Financial Report of the United States Government. This is something we need to look into. Algorand is deep in the States. You see what they're doing in Florida. They're loved in Florida. Stellar has been on a bevy of panels with the United States government. They've had a few meetings with certain governmental officials from the states, okay? So I'm going to go out on a limb and say they are also beloved by the states. You already know that Ripple and Hedera via MTech, the esteemed Carmel Cadet, is on the case. So you know those two entities there, Ripple and Hedera via MTech, are assisting with the building of the U.S. digital dollar. You can look that up also. We covered that on the channel. I think most of you know that already, right? So we are deep in the United States. So and we must make ourselves aware of how much money we could possibly be moving. Even if we take a piece of that money, then we can do certain calculations to see where that price can go. I've always been a promoter of, you should do your own calculations and come up with your own price. I think a lot of people, they look for someone else's estimations and they just go with that. It makes you feel good. And then there's like you don't have to really take responsibility in the end. But trust me on this, it's much better if you do your own calculations and you see for yourself where those prices can go. Then you'll understand why people say, you know, listen, why people say XRP is going to fly past $35. $35. Don't get me wrong. I think from $8 to $10, I've said this before, I think from $8 to $10 people are selling. Listen, it doesn't even, I want to say this, it doesn't even take $8 to $10 for people to see a disgusting return on investment from XRP at this point. And people have so much XLM, it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot for people to be very, very rich. I won't say wealthy, very rich off of XLM. It doesn't take a crazy price. Remember that. So when everything starts going parabolic, you're going to see people take profits because that's going to be enough for them. I understand that. I respect it. And I get it because I know how much people have. You know, they have a ton of Algorand. That's another one. People have a ton. Understand, I know some people are just coming through the door and you've just gotten into the bank coins. And so you're accumulating. You may not have what you feel that you want or need, but always keep in mind, there are people who have been here for a long time and they have a ton. So it doesn't take a crazy price. So sometimes when we're talking about the numbers, I think I have to keep that in mind. I keep that in mind. You know, so I would love to see insane numbers. I would. And they definitely can reach some unbelievable numbers. They can. Especially, let's say, like Quant and XRP. Especially them. XLM can reach, I think this XLM is going to shock people the most, in my humble opinion. I don't think others are going to shock people because people expect them to go to a high price. Like Cello, it could explode so easily. Quant can explode easily. Algorand can explode very easily. So I don't think that's going to be a shock. That's why I say that. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, executive summary, nation by numbers. Let's look at some of these United States numbers. Okay, so I want to cover this piece here, gross costs, because I just want to show. I'm just going to show you the numbers. The gross costs, and this is in billions of dollars. So their gross costs are $7,294 billion. That's their cost. Their budget deficit. Let's just jump down to budget deficit. My goodness. I'm gonna let the numbers speak for themselves so I don't get in trouble on YouTube. Apparently they don't like when I say certain things against certain entities. Budget deficit, $2,775 billion. That's unbelievable. Let's go here. Assets comprised of, now keep in mind, all debt will be tokenized. Now, I'm not sure how the federal government does it, but I know that other countries are able to buy United States debt. So I'm going to assume that they purchased that debt. I mean, they probably sourced that debt from a variety of intermediaries, but I mean, I think the most of the debt that they're going to be interested in buying would be from the federal government. So budget deficit is something that could be tokenized, and that value theoretically, I could be wrong on this, theoretically could definitely be moved, right? So that value could be moving across the blockchains. So now let's go here to assets, cash and other monetary assets. I'm going to try to, hopefully I'm putting some stuff on the screen so you can see for yourself. Cash and other monetary assets, this is in billions of dollars, $475 billion in cash and other monetary assets. Accounts receivable, $401 billion. Loans receivable, $1,000 $651 billion in loans receivable. General property, plant, and equipment. Remember, all of this illiquid value can be liquidated. They can change facilities. They can sell that facility. They can go to a different facility. They can sell that property. They can make that illiquid asset liquid at any time that they want. Then they can purchase something else and they probably have other things just sitting around. Honestly, the United States government usually has an overabundance of everything. But general property, plant, and equipment can be tokenized. That value could be tokenized. It can be tracked. I mean, there's a variety of reasons why they might place something on the distributed ledger technologies, but that value is $1,176 billion already. I mean, already we're talking about insane amounts of money, and we're not even getting into interbank payments. We're not millions of dollars per transaction. Not per day, per transactions, trillions of dollars per day. We went over that. A lot of my people, they have the screenshots, they have the documents, and some of them have more than I do because some of them brought certain documents my way. I just never put them in the video. So everyone knows this. That's factual information. Trillions of dollars per day. All right. That's what we could be involved in if we even take a little piece of that. What does it do to the price of XRP or HBAR? MTech is helping them with the digital dollar. Now, the capacity to which XRP or HBAR is used stands to be seen. We will wait patiently. We have no choice. And then we will comb over the data once the data is released. But first, they have to do their work. But we know what is factual. They are working on the digital dollar. I want to keep saying that. You know, we have a lot of new people here, and there's going to be a lot of people who never heard of this before, and they're going to question us, and I want to prompt them to look it up for themselves, and you will see. All right, so now let's continue on. Total liabilities, unmatched transactions and balances. We have $1.7 trillion. Total liabilities, $34 trillion, 777 billion. These are mind-blowing amounts of value. This is what we're involved in. This is why we love the possibilities of the bank coins. XRP, XLM, Algorand, Cello is in there with that universal basic income. Is something to watch for, because the United States, they have wanted to push universal basic income for a long time. There's reasons for that. I can't discuss them here. But around the world, they've already been testing Cello with universal basic income. What would it do to that price? Do you see Cello go parabolic? I put it in one of the last videos. I showed you how the price went from like $2. It was like $1.50, $2. It was very low when we got it. Then shot up to, what was that, like $9.50? I was actually wrong. I was saying $8. It shot up to like $9 multiple times. It just kept going up and down as people sold off. I remember witnessing it myself. So can you imagine something that takes off that easily just off of speculation? If they did roll out in mass universal basic income, I mean, anywhere. So they're in there. My goodness, bro. Like what we're into is so insane. I almost understand why some people don't believe it, but what can you do? This is factual information. This is what the bank coins are involved in. They have the absolute most explosive use cases that have ever existed. Now, let's go here. So also when we're thinking about the United States, of course, we're always talking about the banks. So we need to know the value in those banks. So here's a little tidbit. The 15 largest banks in the United States hold a combined total of $13.5 trillion. My goodness, $13.5 trillion. Also, I want to say something. I covered this in other videos, but like I said, we have a lot of new people, not only on the channel, but we have a lot of new people to the bank coins. It doesn't take a lot to become a bank. I think you have to just meet 3 criteria. That's it. 3 criteria and have $10 million. So when I say that I believe, and I want to clarify, because I said something the other day, it sounded more like a blanket statement when I watched the video back. I want to clarify that I do believe that Ripple to some capacity could become a bank. I will say that, right? I don't think that they should. But I believe that they could become a bank. And I see them going down a much greater path than Kraken and LCX, which those two are trying. Well, Kraken is a bank. They didn't start that way. but then LCX is also trying to become a bank. I see that. I believe Ripple could do much more. They're much on a much greater path. However, $10 million. That's it. 10 million. That is. I think some people believe that it takes much more to start a bank than what the actuality is. So anyway, the 15 largest banks, $13.5 trillion. That's just the 15 largest. Okay, so let's go on to another piece of information. Total assets, all commercial banks in the United States. This is from the St. Louis Fed. All right. So this is factual information. Now, keep in mind, Ripple is working with hundreds of banks. Hundreds. We only know a few. So this value here is important. It's in the billions of US dollars. So all commercial banks together, $24 trillion. $24 trillion. We've only been talking about billions and trillions, mostly trillions in this video. That's what we're involved in. That's what the bank coins stand to take a piece of, if not all of it, a piece of, right? What will it do to the price? You have to ask yourself that question. Then when you start thinking about where that price can go, that's when it really firms up the heart to say, I may want to hold this asset and put that to the side. There's a lot of quick money out there. There's a lot of quick money out there. And I told people before also, never be afraid to learn something new, to learn art, paint, learn some drawing. There's a lot of great teachers out there, a lot of great YouTube teachers out there. Paint, draw, make some NFTs. When the time will come once again where things will be better and they will explode. And that's the time where you need to take full advantage of every possibility of bringing in revenue and capital to yourself and your family, right? And NFTs will be huge money. Those art NFTs will be huge once again. And I think that everybody, if they can, should get in on that. In my humble opinion, I do. So now let's continue on here. This is from the European Central Bank. So, we're deep in Europe and we're working on the digital euro over there. We are a part of the Faster Payments Council. We are a part of the Digital Pound Foundation, although they're doing very terrible right now, but that's because of the strength of the dollar. But let's take a look at some of what they have. Consolidated financial statement of the euro system. Gold and receivable. So this is in the, let's get a number on this. I think this, okay, this is in the millions of euro, all right? And it says gold and receivable, 278 million euro worth of gold. That's a lot of value. Claims on non-euro area residents denominated in foreign currency, 526,581,000. I think that's how I'm supposed to read it. They make these numbers so strange. They really do. Maybe it's just the way that I'm reading it, but that's the beauty of putting something here so you can read it for yourself. Just in case I make a mistake. I may make a mistake every once in a while, and that's why it's good to provide you with things you see yourself, and then you can read it for yourself and make your own interpretations and make your own decisions, okay? I think it's always best to trust yourself over anyone else. Securities held for monetary policy purposes. Holy smokes. This is in the millions. So I'm assuming this is like 4,945,694,000,000 euro. Am I reading that correctly? I think I'm reading that correctly. That's unbelievable. That's the securities. What are these securities? I don't want to delve deeper. This video would be so much longer. Oh my goodness. Liabilities to euro area credit institutions related to monetary policy operations denominated in Europe, 4,816,500,000,000. The amounts are unbelievable. So now you get an idea of how much money, how much value rather, the bank coins stand to take a piece of. It's unbelievable. Keep in mind how many banks Quant has access to, right? Over 500. Now, how many of them are actually going to run Quant infrastructures and use QT? Even if we take a small piece of that, a small piece of those banks, it would make Quant explode beyond belief. Quant has what, like 13 million tokens? That's it. 13 million, that's it. That's way less than Bitcoin. and they're working with the banks. Every transaction has to be that has to be paid on Quant Network with QNT. Not only that, there's going to be staking of QNT. So that QNT is not going to move. It's not going to stay down at $127 for long. Not at all. That all-time high of QNT, because of what it stands to do, it will explode and blow past that all-time high. Look, $1,000 QNT is nothing. Nothing. I'll go out on a limb a little bit further. Okay, I try not to go too far, but it's not going too far with QNT. $2,000 quant is nothing. Nothing. But do your own calculations. This doesn't mean I want you to buy quant. I want you to make your own decisions. I'm not here to persuade you. You have to say that because some people always feel like if they watch a video, that means that you want them to do something. No. I'm not a financial advisor. When I say that, I really mean it. I don't want to be. I want you to make your own decisions if I want anything. Make your own decisions. Whether you buy or don't buy, it does not have anything to do with me at all because these are bank coins. The banks are going to move that price. That's it. To where I want it to be, the tsunami, the explosion, the banks will move that price. We're here for the bank money, not retail. Your retail. We're not here for retail money at all. We can get retail money somewhere else. There's a lot of stuff out there. We can get retail money quite easily. We're not here for that. We're in the bank coins for the bank money. All right. So I like to clarify that because there's always a whole lot of people they feel like you're trying to get them to do something or no, not at all. Not at all. And I respect you if you don't have these things. You can still watch the videos. You can still watch the channel. Come here and chill with Alpha Team. I'm perfectly fine with that. All right. Okay. So now we've been over a lot of numbers. Hopefully I didn't burn your brains out, but this is why people believe XRP is going to go to a high price. XLM is going to go to a high price. And also keep in mind the fact that XLM tags along with XRP on every parabolic run. It doesn't go up as high as XRP, but it goes up a significant degree, a significant amount, especially for the people that have a ton of XLM. They're going to see a pretty return on investment. Everything goes according to plan, in my humble opinion. So trillions of dollars, quadrillions of dollars is unbelievable. It's a great time to be alive. There's a lot of struggle right now, but I'm talking about specifically when we're looking at the bank coins, it's a great time to be alive, all right? I hope everybody out there is doing well. I appreciate you being here on the channel. You know, we may have some fun videos coming up. We may do a couple of more videos where we go over some numbers. There are other numbers I'd like to look at. There's the outro, I got it. Now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.